You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us on this fine October morning, getting ready for, Halloween's coming up. It's Monday. What is it? The 21st today, I believe. Sorry, it's just I already entered it in, and I already forgot that it's the 21st of October. October is just flying by, and we're already almost at Halloween, and then into November, and then Remembrance Day, and then Christmas. It's time's just a flying, and soon the snow will be flying. Coming on a little bit late this morning. I apologize. My bad this morning. Thanks for sticking with us to kick off this work week. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. We're also streaming at cklu.ca. Click on the Radio Player Canada app to stream us. Download the Radio Player Canada app to take us with you and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. And while you're there, just check out some of the merch that CKLU has, so that way you can, end up with a nice shirt or a hat or a mug. Something that we have there that would help support the station. This is your station, and it's your conversation in your station each and every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m. on CKLU, cklu.ca. Also streaming live at facebook.com/cybernews, youtube.com/cybernews. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow the page and the channel, but mainly comment. We'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen for those watching and read for those listening. And if for some reason your comment doesn't get read or up on the screen, it's not done on purpose. It's just because we've moved on and we're looking at some of the stories. And as I am producing, doing the troubleshooting and hosting and moderating and everything, I may not be able to incorporate comments as they're coming in real time all the time. But anyways, we do our best, as you know, if you've been on the show for any length of time, watching the show, that is, or listening, we just do our best, and that's all we can do. And then just let everything else fall into place. And with that, we're also on demand after. If you've not been able to catch the show live, you can catch us on Facebook and YouTube and twitter.com/SudburyNews, now X. And on our news aggregator, which is Sudbury.news, aggregates all of our local news into one webpage. So it's very convenient, and you're able to see CTV, CBC, Sudbury Star, Sudbury.com, all on one webpage. It's pretty awesome. Anyways, we do that as a service to the community. Now that we're not able to share news in regards to the policy of our federal government, that makes it impossible to share news now on Facebook and Instagram, the most widely used platforms of social media. So here we go. We're going to dive right in with a little bit of weather. We'll be back with news headlines, your comments, and more as we begin our show a little bit late this morning. So if you're wondering what happened, we just got off to a little bit late of a start, and we're going to dive right in right now. Looking forward to chatting with some of you when we come back, all of you when we come back, and looking at our top stories of the day. Pretty exciting stuff. And Sudbury weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Currently it's 9 degrees out there. It is clear, apparently. Today, we can expect it to be sunny. Let's just refresh this page just because it's probably old, which which it is. But today we can expect it to be sunny. High of 24, humidex 26. So basically summer weather today. And other than yesterday, it was pretty much the same. It was very warm. It was supposed to be sunny. I was going to play our weather segment from Friday where I was pessimistic that we would actually have 4 days of sun, and I was right. Yesterday, by the end of the day, before the sun went down, it was totally overcast, which I knew it was going to be at least one of those days due to the chemical spraying that they do. I watched the chemicals as I was driving down from Temiskaming through Temagami, through Field on our way to Sudbury yesterday. And I can just see the spraying going on. And I was like, it's eventually going to be overcast, which it was. So anyone who are, unbelievers of this geoengineering that we do each and every day, if you were paying attention yesterday, you would have saw the full enchilada of total clear skies and then few jets go by. And then by the end of the day, totally overcast. When Environment Canada said it would be absolutely sunny, and that's just all we would have. They didn't say there'd be a single cloud for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So again, today, they're saying it's going to be completely sunny, 24 degrees, humidex 26. Tonight, a few clouds tonight. Fog patches developing overnight. Tuesday, mainly sunny, fog patches dissipating in the morning. And the high will be 22 tomorrow. So again, warm, not as warm as today, but warm nonetheless. And then there's going to be a 60% chance of showers on Wednesday with a high of 11. So it starts getting a little cooler with some showers. And then 7 is your high with a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday. And then a little bit warmer. 10 on Friday, mix of sun and cloud. Same thing on Saturday. And then high of 9 on Sunday with a 30% chance of showers. And a look at your satellite as of 6 a.m. this morning. Again, mostly clear skies over central Ontario and northern Ontario. And that's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with your comments, news headlines, and more right after this. Okay, and welcome back. We are here. You are here. We're having a good time, as usual, in the morning with all y'all that are on. Some morning shout-outs to Judy on Facebook here. Good morning to you, Judy. Thanks for being on. Marianne in Barrie. Good morning, everyone from Barrie, liked and shared, as usual. And Denise, blessings going forward, everyone. And Courtney, good morning from the Sioux. Hope to see some familiar Sudbury faces here today. Yes, say hi to everyone in the Sioux for me. It's my old stomping grounds. I was born there and raised there, I guess you can say, until high school. And then I left to Manitoulin Island for 1 year of high school. And then ever since then, I've been living in Sudbury, other than 2 years living in the United States for a short period of time. I love the Sioux. Say hi to everyone over there for me today. And thanks for being on, Courtney. And thanks for checking in. And Denise, I'm watching immigrants unify across Canada. Just wow. Okay, I'm watching migrants unify large across Canada, LRG. So, yeah, I'm sure that happens to a large degree. If there's commonalities between certain migrants, they would definitely get together. And we're definitely have a surge of new people in Canada. There's no doubt about it, by the millions over the last few years. Unprecedented. We'll see how all that works out, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Todd, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, Todd. Thanks for being on. From Muskoka, joining us. And I'm hoping you're having a good morning, Todd. And Denise says, yep, just look up. Yeah, 100%. Denise, just go to canada.ca. It's there. Canada.ca. And just let us know what we're looking for at canada.ca, Denise, and then we can let everyone know. And in the meantime, good morning, Liette. Good morning, everyone from Collingwood. Hand clap emoji. And Penny, good morning to you as well, with an exclamation point. And speaking of Collingwood, we will not be having a show next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, as far as I know, unless I can figure out a way of doing it, because I will be in Collingwood. And we're going there for work, for some training, and so I'm not sure how I could take the show with me, with the accommodations we're going to be having and stuff. We're at a bed and breakfast, and if I can figure it out, I'll bring the stuff and we'll have the show. But heads up, there just might not be a show for 3 days next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But we're going to try to see what we can do. And good morning, Marianne. Hand clap emoji. You're probably saying good morning to someone else. Denise, here's Canada.ca weather modification from there. Okay, so you're saying Canada.ca just comes right out and spells it out for us that they are doing weather modification. So I appreciate that. There's the link. I encourage everybody who is not sure what we talk about each and every day on the show in the weather segment about the trails, the jet streams, the trails from the jets that cause the weather that we have, or change the weather, or at least block the sun and make it cloudy, or at least add a bunch of clouds in the sky that don't need to be there. And so I'm going to check that out. It's 5 pages, apparently. It's something worth looking at right on our Canada.ca website. Marianne says, seen videos of parties in the streets in Brampton with no regards to their neighbors. Okay. And good morning, Mike. Thanks for being on. And I encourage you to check out that link that Denise just sent about weather modification in Canada. As you were saying, you're having a hard time finding information about geoengineering. Maybe there's something right from the Canada.ca website there that would be official. Lise, good morning to you. Thanks for being on. And Denise says the numbers are growing and Trudeau passed them off. And Rebecca, good morning to you, with an emoji that it's very small for me to see, but thanks for sharing that and being on, Rebecca. And Liette says, how nice you'll be in Collingwood. Welcome. And Collingwood is such a beautiful place for anyone who hasn't been there. It's just one of a kind. It's just a very welcoming town, very picturesque, right on the water there, very touristy. There's lots of things to do in Collingwood, and it's just a vibrant town. It's just amazing. So I would encourage anybody, if you're looking at having like a staycation in Ontario or whatever, that's definitely one place that would be on your list to go to. Whether it's in the winter or in the summer, they have all kinds of things to do for all ages. And yeah, this brought to you by the town of Collingwood. I guess they're sponsoring the show today. Marianne, yes, they don't even try hiding anything anymore. And that is so true. And they're telling on themselves on the Canada website for sure. And Rebecca goes on to say it's part of DARPA. DARPA, another thing to research if we're not sure about weather modification these days. It's a huge thing. Bill Gates is in on the game. He has a patent on how to modify hurricanes even. Bill Gates is in on the hurricane game apparently these days. And he's got some patents there trying to control where hurricanes go. He says he does it because he's trying to figure out ways to divert hurricanes from populated areas and reduce damage, but it looks like I think it's doing the opposite. these days. It's doing more damage. So again, thanks, Bill, but stick to computers. I'm telling you, it just some things you just can't be everything to everyone all the time. You can only be some things to some people some of the time, and it's okay. You don't have to be God. We already have one. We appreciate the sentiment, though. But yeah, you don't need to control hurricanes. Let them be, and we'll just deal with them. All right. And Jerome, good morning to you, everyone. Maybe one of us could send the link for weather modification to Sudbury City Council. Well, Denise just shared it. Thanks to Denise there. I will check it out a little bit later. I'll have to go back on the show. Hopefully it's in the comments after the show as well. Sometimes Facebook, trying to help us moderate our own comments, just takes out whatever they feel isn't all that important after the show is done. Thanks to Facebook again, but we don't need that if you're listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate your platform. But just leave the comments there. We're fine. And afterwards, if someone wants to go check out a comment. So again, less work for you, and we'll just keep our comments in our conversations. Rebecca says nanoparticles, nanotechnology, maybe. Black goop is what I call it. Smart dust. Wow, sounds like a song there we can make out of that. And he says nothing new under the sun. And Marianne goes on to say, will they read it? Even better. Would they understand what they signed up to? Okay, Liette, Collingwood is a beautiful place to visit. Lots to do for sure. Summer or winter, that is. So great. The hurricane was hitting Cuba on the weekend. We have a friend there, and that's Marianne. That is true. And Mike is wondering, Denise, if you can send that link to mike.parent, mike.parent at greatersudbury.ca, if that's okay. So in essence, we'd be sharing it with the city council that way through Mike. He could, if he wants to bring it to city council, and that way we're aware as a city that the weather modification plans that Canada has is going on in our skies. I think it's something we need to be aware of. I mean, the provincial government, we need to get permission from them now just to make a bike lane, for crying out loud. But yet they can spray things over us and stuff, and we have no idea what's going on. I think we need to at least know what we're breathing in. I think, if someone was to go up to you in a grocery store and put a spray can in front of your face and you breathe whatever it was in, I think that would be very rude of someone to do. And so, but yet you can do it on a mass scale over everyone's heads each and every day, and we don't even know what's in it. I mean, that's pretty darn disrespectful to whoever's doing it. Because the last I checked, all human beings are equal, and we need to treat each other the way we want to be treated. And we're all born into this world the same way. We all have the same components as human beings. No human being is better than anyone else, nor do they deserve anything more than another human being. And so why do some human beings feel they can spray other human beings without their knowledge or without their consent, and they have to breathe in whatever the freak they're spraying into the skies every day, and their kids and their loved ones that they want to be protecting from whatever it is possibly that's in the stuff that you're spraying. So it's very disrespectful. And there should be some shame in what you're doing. And you should, unless you're past feeling any shame and there's some deeper reason why you're doing it to other people, I'm not sure. They interview these people in jail and stuff, serial killers and stuff, and they try and get in their minds and think, well, why do they do what they do? I mean, they're perplexed, right? Psychologists and psychiatrists, they're just like, how can somebody do what this person just did? But people can do weird things, and we don't know why. They can do very evil things. And we wouldn't, so we don't even think that we could do such a thing, or someone could do such a thing, but some people just are sociopaths, psychopaths, and sometimes you could have organizations at high levels with people with a lot of resources who have psychopathic, sociopathic tendencies, who then use those resources and power and influence to do psychopathic things to people. We've seen it in history. History repeats itself. So let's just open up our minds and be aware of opposing threats of people that could be like that, instead of just burying your head in the sand and thinking, oh, nothing could ever happen like that here, right? If you ever think that in your mind, that nothing like that could ever happen here, give your head a shake. You just never think like that. It's totally against any kind of self-reliance or emergency preparedness ideology, because it can happen here. Anything is possible. Anything can happen to you. You need to be prepared for things and know that there are certain forces in the world that don't like people. They like to control people. They want to control everything. They just do. You don't want to control everything, and you don't want to control people, but that doesn't mean there's people out there that don't want to and don't use their whatever's at their fingertips to accomplish that goal. Yeah, I just watched Knockout Star Island flood all those tunnels, get rid of the evidence from Diddy and Epstein. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Never thought of that. That's could be one of the results from some of these hurricanes going on in those areas. I was recently in Sudbury. The chemtrails were beyond obvious, willfully ignorant at this point, those that choose to ignore. Yeah, exactly. Just like I said on Friday, 4 days of clear sun, clear skies in the day of geoengineering is absolutely unheard of. And it was. And Sunday, and it probably happened on Saturday. I wasn't paying much attention, but Sunday, definitely. It was totally overcast yesterday. And in the forecast, Environment Canada didn't have one stitch of a cloud in their forecast. So what does that tell you? Totally overcast. If you lived in Sudbury and you're outside for a second, all you had to do was notice it. It was there. But yet the forecast said totally sunny. How does that happen? Is it 1984 where you're being told one thing, but what's going on is absolutely the opposite? So you're listening to the radio, it's sunny today, and you look up and it's cloudy. Is that the world we live in? And Pat, good morning, with a smiley emoji. Thanks for being on, Pat. And Andrew checking in. Good morning to you, Andrew, as well. Denise says, Canada has lots of high-tech and advanced sciences and a few hybrid biolabs. You know how I look at the foreigners that come here to go to school? Says something, doesn't it? Oh, that's in the news today. When we get to that, of Laurentian University's numbers, we'll look at that. So, right. Hey, did you notice the Doppler on Highway 69? Question mark? Yes, I do notice it. And Rebecca says they would. Oh, sorry, the world is so woke now, and I'm here for it honestly. Yes, it is, definitely. There's no doubt about it. And what was it? Kamala said she wants to be the wokest of the woke as part of her campaign, which I don't know what that means, but it's something. Dane Wigington at Geoengineering Global is very informative. Yes. And geoengineeringwatch.org is a great website, geoengineeringwatch.org. And I think that's where that particular person is from with their website. Rebecca, exactly. Nobody is better or worse, just different. And that's true. And there is another link that Brian is sharing. So everybody check that out. So there's a Doppler on 17 as well, is what Denise, I think, is saying. And Rebecca, did you hear about 2025, a universal income for everyone? Like $2,000 a person? It's going through. Interesting. Yeah, I knew about this universal income for quite some time. Again, it's a socialist type of a communist type of an approach as we get to be more and more socialist, more and more communist as our society moves forward, all in the name of equity and making everybody equal, good luck with that. You'll never have a society where everyone is equal. Forcing everyone to be equal will never work because it just doesn't, because we're not equal. We're all equal in terms of we're born equal in terms of our rights. We're all the same, but it doesn't mean that you can force someone to run as fast as me or get the same grade as I get on my test or whatever, or have the same desires or passions that I have in the world. If I want to become whatever for my occupation, I shouldn't be forced just because everyone else is being forced to be equal. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. It's unicorns and rainbows and I have no idea. Lollipops. It just doesn't work. Not everybody, you can't have equal outcome. Everyone has equal opportunity. You should have the same opportunity as me to do just as good on the test as I do. You should be given just as much time to study. And if you have a disability or something, you should have different accommodations made for your disability so you can have the same opportunity as anyone to do just as good on the test. But you shouldn't be given a mark, the same mark as everyone else, because that just doesn't work. You didn't study, you didn't do your work, you didn't hand in your assignments, but yeah, you got the same mark as I did. And I already found that in university as it was. So I graduate in the 90s, the mid 90s as an average. And that's what I graduated with and everything I was in, college, university, and in my master's. And someone could graduate in college with a 50. Well, in my case, it had to be a 70, then graduate with a 70. And I had a 95. And at the end of the day, we got the same diploma. So it already is like that to some extent, right? Same thing, the master's. You need 80 to pass. And so someone who gets mid 90s, that's a 15% difference. When you needed an 80 to pass in the first place, that's a big difference. But you get the same diploma, the same degree, right? So if you're applying for a job, and unless they ask for your grades, which who asks for grades, on a resume or whatever, I'm thinking people should to some degree. It just shows something. It doesn't show everything, but it shows something. And I remember in university, there was an international student. We're in communications. English wasn't their first language. So I definitely understand the struggle. And it wasn't at a university grade level, but they got their degree, and so they got the same degree as I got in university. And so we already have some type of equity principles in our institutions and in our society that I don't know. I just don't think it's so this common, everyone gets $2,000, and there's a lot of economists who make an argument for it. I can appreciate it, but I don't know. If everyone just gets the same amount of money, then what? All the prices go up everywhere, and their $2,000 basically becomes like where we're at now with zero in terms of inflation, and just everything costs more. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. You're just basically bribing the poor with an income, universal income. You're saying, look, we'll give you free money. Oh, yeah, I love that idea. And basically it just keeps them poor for the rest of their life because they think they don't need to do anything else. So, and then the mentality sets in, and And the rich know you can't live on $2,000 and they just need to keep being rich. So the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's not good for a society. There's no middle class then. So that'll be the spike in the middle class's coffin, a universal income, I guarantee you. Pet peeve of the day, people that get paid large money that hold their lives in their hands and play stupid and won't even go research. So anyone just needs to research anyways, whether you're rich or poor. Look into it. Could change Canada forever, the universal income, for sure. It will. It will change Canada forever. And there's going to be a lot of people who just love it. Like, who wouldn't love to be paid off and bribed? But look how little of a bribe that is. You know, $2,000 a month. It's like the CERB, right? That was a little bit of a test. That was a test for universal income, CERB. I knew that at the time. Well, because according to the deletes, we were useless eaters, or the elites. We were useless eaters, right? They could buy some clues with all their blood money. Just saying. That's Marianne and Rebecca. I call the dark triad, and it's dangerous. Okay. And Denise says parenting program like China, no longer human. You're just a score, just a number on a sheet. Okay, lots of stuff coming in here. Let's see what we got, and then we'll cover at least the one or two stories for the day. 2 points for getting up at the right time now. Please walk 5 minutes to your destination and get your points for the day. Please insert your card. I'm sorry, you have lost points for the day because you're arguing with your neighbor. There will be no points today. Thank you. Have a good day. Return to your home. Close the door. So that's what, you may have a message on your phone saying, as we got a social credit score system, forcing us to do what they deem to be good and polite and good citizens. And then basically it's your money. So if they're giving you $2,000, it means maybe you can get docked for not doing good deeds in society, right? And then they have more control over you. And you got to do whatever they say. The government never gives you free money. And first of all, it's your money to begin with. Always be leery about that. Bill C-293 is the nail in the coffin. 6 pages. And it's draconian. That's Marianne. Bill C-293 for anyone who wants to check that out. And disabled Kane, willingly ignorant means dumb on purpose. Exclamation point. Nana, just coming in now. Slept in. Hi, y'all. Blessings, everyone. Good morning, Nana. Thanks for being on. Yeah, we're rarely get blue skies anymore. You are 100% right, Pat. All part of the plan. People get depressed with no sun. That is 100% true, Marianne. And Leah is wondering what Doppler is there on Highway 69 or on 17. Wondering where it is. So if anyone can let her know. And what is it doing or counting as well? She wants to know that. So we're just going to head on to some of our stories here. Wow. Holy moly. All kinds of people chiming in. We got a really great conversation going this morning, obviously. And so again, just wondering where the Doppler is. But Jerome says, thank you, Mike. City Council has responsibility to protect citizens under the federally controls skies over our heads. Call said A. Waste of time. Yeah, no, it's a topic that, they know about it, obviously. You look up in the sky, how could you not? But what are they going to do about it? They probably know who's doing it as well, and who's paying for them. You're not going to bite the hand that feeds. Let's see here. So we got stories here on our Sudbury.news Facebook page. The international students propping up Laurentian University. From the enrollment this fall, university scenes decline in returning domestic students, which with larger pre-insolvency cohort now having graduated. So the people that were already registered with Laurentian University pre-bankruptcy, so that happened a few years ago, right? So they were in the midst of their degrees at that time. And so now they've all graduated and moved on, but there's less and less numbers of domestic students coming in, but we have a lot of international students, which make up the lion's share of Laurentian University's enrollment. So we have upticks in our international students still coming here. Apparently, they're saying it's because the Canada still has the brand that education here in Canada is worth more than education in possibly the countries they're from. And so they still want to get a Canadian education. And so just it doesn't matter if it comes from a formerly bankrupt university, it's a Canadian education. And so we are still getting international students enrolling at Laurentian University. But our domestic numbers are down. So we have more international students at Laurentian and less domestic students. Toronto Sun's Brian Lilly will be coming to Sudbury tomorrow, speaking engagement. And if you go to nickelbelt.ontariopc.ca, nickelbelt.ontariopc.ca, you can register to see Brian Lilly. I don't think there's a cost for it, but you do need to register. And once you go and register, they can tell you where it is, which venue it's going to be at. So anyone's familiar with Brian Lilly, we play his segments quite a bit on the show. And actually their take on the latest debacle in Ottawa was really good, with the Trudeau testifying at the inquiry into foreign interference in Canada. Their take on it was really good. I watched it on Friday just after we already talked about it and played. I believe we played Harrison Faulkner's take on it. But I encourage anyone, just go to YouTube, look up, I believe it's Sun Media, and their take on the foreign interference inquiry and testimonies that are going on about that. Very telling. But if you want to go see Brian Lilly, you go to nickelbelt.ontariopc.ca, register for his speaking engagement in Sudbury tomorrow, October the 22nd. And Sudbury receives $634,000 from the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation for the second quarter contribution to our city. As you know, any bingos or casino here in Sudbury, they have to give some of that money to the community. And so every quarter, so this quarter, they gave over $500,000, $634,000 to the city. Again, I just would wish there was some type of website the city had where it was very transparent, where you saw the money coming in like this from different areas. Where are they getting all the money, whether it's federal, provincial? You know how they get certain portions of money from the federal government, the provincial government, municipal taxes, and money like this from the casinos and the bingos, and you saw all the money coming in. And then you saw all the money going out and where it was going, who it went to. And you can almost be an amateur accountant and just basically do the math yourself and see And then citizens, just everyday regular citizens, could make suggestions based on them seeing the actual numbers coming in and going out and saying, wait a minute, and then seeing all the contracts that are awarded and even seeing the process. So here you have, tenders put out for this job, and you see 3 companies are bidding on it. And you see everything on the website. And then you saw the city chose this particular contractor to do it. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because they promised more and they came in at a really good price and they have a good reputation as a contractor. I can see why they chose them. And then another one comes in and it's like, oh, there's only one contractor bidding on this one. And you do your own little research, take some time for research. Oh, it's the mayor's brother-in-law. He's getting the contract. Stuff like that. Not saying that happens. I am not saying that happens. But I'm saying if it were to happen, or if in the future it did happen, and there was a lot of transparency with the city, then everyday average citizens, which it's your money, whether it's federal money, whether it's provincial money, or whether it's money that's collected from you for municipal taxes, it's all your money, regardless. They can say, yeah, but we have federal contributions of this amount, provincial contributions. But they're all accountable to you. The feds are accountable to you, the province is accountable to you, and your city is accountable to you as a taxpayer. So why wouldn't you just have something transparent like that? Because it's your money. It's almost like if you're on the board of directors and you get the minutes of the meeting and you get to have a say in the meeting and you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like you have ownership of the city you live in, the country you live in, the province you live in. And why wouldn't there be transparency? And what happens when there's not transparency? Really? What temptations are there if things aren't transparent for certain people, to take advantage of it? And again, it's just they're tempted with it. It's because there's no transparency. But why make it easy for someone? And now that we're talking about foreign interference and things like that, right? Release the names. Why aren't they releasing the names? Who are these politicians accountable to? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, how can any politician feel that they can be anything other than transparent to those that they're representing? They are no different than any one of us. Why do they have special, some kind of special authority or special powers? If anything, they're serving you. They need to be serving you. And there are servants, public servants, civil servants. It's even in the name. And but we almost have like tyrants, or they're rulers. They've changed to they're your ruler, not your servant. And it's not right. And we have the technology these days to just change how it's done. Total transparent. And wouldn't it be great if one city in Canada just took the lead with that? Just took the lead and said, yeah, we're going to have a totally transparent website where, and the website can manage everything with AI tools and things for the city. All the transactions go through the same website and everyone can just see it, and it would streamline some costs for the city. There'd just be algorithms that just take care of some of the mundane things that you have to pay people to do, It'd be so cool. And it would be in line with what the citizens would really want anyways. If you had a vote, can you imagine if we had a vote on that? Okay, we were going to have a yes or no vote. We're going to have a referendum in Sudbury. There's an idea of having this website that just shows everything totally transparent, and it does all the calculations and everything for us of a city. Because look, the things the city does is pretty. You send out RFPs for things, proposals for tenders. You send these out, and they're bid on, and they're one or two, or depends, are accepted And then there's a process. All this could be streamlined and totally transparent on a website. And it wouldn't take much. And then the person who makes this website could then offer it to other cities and things. And there'd be a small fee that this company could make off making this website. And the citizens would all vote for it. So maybe that's a way to do some kind of grassroots work where the citizens are actually taking back their cities, their provinces, and their country, which it belongs to the citizens. It doesn't belong to a few elite people making decisions for us. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter how much money the 1% have or the 1% of the 1%. It doesn't give them the entitlement to rule and reign over people that are just as equal as they are. Everyone is equal. And we don't need a universal income to have equity, to get a different word instead of being equal with a different meaning where you're deceived into thinking it means the same thing, but it's not. You're being bought out and paid for in the name of what you think is being equal, but you think these elites are getting $2,000 a month? No, they're making millions and billions of dollars a month, and that is unequal, is unequitable, right? So it's just not right. So it's a very complicated structure and one that needs reform, and it's going to be reformed with the good, bad, and the ugly. We're going to see what's going to come in the next couple of years. So that's all the time we got this morning. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And sorry that we got off to a little bit of a late start. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow on the same platforms, God willing, on Facebook, on YouTube. We can be found on twitter.com/Sudbury News, which is now X, and on demand after the show. And make sure to like, share, and stay aware. Take care. And stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.